This was not really in my game plan. Frankly, I enjoyed being a council member. That allowed me to pick and choose the issues that I felt were most important. And as you can imagine, being mayor, you don't have that luxury. You have some responsibility for all of the issues. Now bear in mind, the mayor of Chestertown only has one vote, the same as the council people. But we have what is designed, a term of art, it's not a reflection on the mayor, but we have what's called a weak mayor system. That means we have a town manager who is responsible for all the day-to-day decisions, while the mayor and council study, reflect, and pass motions with regard to policy, to budgets, to hiring decisions. And that really is the focus of it. And as you can imagine, this has been a challenging year, capped off by a most unusual election. And Chris Cerino, who I personally believe was an outstanding mayor, felt that he needed to resign for family and personal reasons. And the town charter then calls on the town council to look both to its own members and to any eligible member of the town. And then council votes for that candidate or that individual, providing, of course, that they're willing to accept that. In the past, I've often told people that I come here as a experienced Peace Corps volunteer, and Marines, and Vietnam, and the Chester River. Many people know me from my experience on the town council and representing Ward 1, some as the river keeper for the Chester River, some from just lectures at WC All, or from a column I did for the Chestertown Spy, Searching for Common Ground. By training and education, I'm a civil engineer and a urban planner. My careers were both domestically with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and internationally with the Agency for International Development. I think also by nature, I'm an analyst and a bit of a plotter. I feel it's most important to be able to gather information before making a decision. Back last fall, when the issue of painting a mural on High Street came up, and some were initially in favor, some initially opposed, and I initially said, let's gather some more information. What are our financial and legal liabilities and responsibilities on this? And then after considering a wide range of alternatives, I ultimately did vote in favor of that mural. But it was not a quick judgment, and I think I'll follow that same sort of approach on as many other challenges come up. And there will be some challenges, no doubt. Many of you probably heard in terms of some of the controversies over the playground at Wilmer Park and the potential basketball court at Ajax Park. And I really want to put these back into context. I think we have a very good recreation committee. We look to them for advice. But this has, again, been a most unusual, challenging year. And there was not the opportunity to gather information from the public at large during this. Many people felt quarantined. There wasn't an opportunity for face-to-face gatherings. And so we, the council, and I, really agreed that it was premature to vote on these. And we asked in both cases for the Recreation Committee to go back, to reconsider a variety of options. We did make a clear decision, and we reaffirmed that decision at our most recent meeting, that we would have the playground in Wilmer Park. There was some controversy over that. The council and I felt it was that park, Wilmer Park, is kind of the crown jewel of the parks in Chestertown. And it needs to be a park for all of our citizens, young and old, and the most diverse community we can have. And so, even though I can sympathize with people who may not want things to change, it will be the nature that from time to time things will change in order to further the interest of all the people in Chestertown. So we reaffirmed our commitment to have a playground there, and simply asked them to go back and look again and say what was the best design for that playground. Similar request was made with regard to the basketball court in Ajax Park, and we understand that there's a strong interest in that, but once again, looking at what was the best design for that. Some of the other issues that are going to be coming up, of course, we have recently passed our budget for the upcoming fiscal year, but this year, for the first time I'm aware of, we have a whole new budget exercise, and this will deal with the so-called ARP funds, the American Rescue Plan funds. And we want to be able to take the best advantage we can of that. In total, this money may be as much as 3/4 of our annual budget, as it was prior to COVID-19. And we want to make sure that we make the best use of that. I should emphasize that, again, this is probably not a surprise for somebody who's been an engineer and worked in developing countries. One of my first priorities is the infrastructure, the water, sewer, roads. Frankly, I mentioned developing countries, you don't have to go that far. Anybody who's been paying attention has seen how Rock Hall got into serious trouble when they sought to balance their budget by postponing infrastructure maintenance. Another item with regard to finance is the perennial issue of the tax differential, where we believe that we're appreciative of that this year, for the first time probably in 10 years, the county did provide a small tax rebate. We appreciate that. It's a step in the right direction. What we really want to do is sit down now with the county and jointly review that and see what actually should be the size of that. So we appreciate what they've done, but we believe that we need to move still further in that direction. Other major issue, and I'm not going to go into these in detail right now, but just so that people know they're on the horizon, and this is the oil spill, a long-standing problem, accidental spill from the hospital, but one that lasted for months. It was underground, nobody saw it, and this has been going on for quite some time, and we have two major issues there. One is obviously how do we reduce the risk, but the other is how do we restore public's confidence in this after years in which the hospital, and particularly their consultants, withheld information from us, claimed that they had no obligation to inform the town, and I think in many cases purposely misled people, and we now know that. One other major issue, or a couple of them that will be coming up on personnel, and that is we're in the process of reviewing applications for a new police chief. We're pleased that the service that Chief Dogos has provided to us, but we did make the decision that before actually permanently hiring a police chief, that we would seek applications from qualified people throughout, and Chief Dogos, of course, is welcome to apply for that as well. I think he's done a very good job, but we think we have an obligation to the town to kind of search far and wide for this. Similar issue with regard to the town attorney. Mr. Barrell has accepted a position in Caroline County. He's also done a very good job for us, and we'll be reviewing applicants for that.